Have you ever experienced awkward moments dealing with others? Have you ever felt misunderstood? Well, today we continue this examination of behavioral styles and to see what is it that we are missing in relationships. Why is it that sometimes it appears as if we're speaking Swahili to somebody who only speaks Greek? Today we want to look at perhaps the most misunderstood of the behavioral styles, the I style behavior. Hi, I'm Trevor E.S. Smith. I'm with the Success with People Academy, and I'll be your guide today. Please stick around. We won't be long, 35, thereabout minutes, and we get it done. But this is important because the I style is actually a key component in the quest to be innovative and to be disruptive and to be resilient. So let us see, why is it that a CEO could say to me in a workshop, I will never knowingly employ someone with an I style behavioral preference. Why is this? Whereas when we look at the data from the world's most competitive countries, the I style is celebrated, welcomed, and encouraged. Interesting dialogue. Please stick around as we examine and unravel this mystery. So let us look at our agenda as we move forward. So I'm going to place the context, started to share some of that already. I want to give you a quick bird's eye view of the I style mindset. Then some of the areas either that the I style brings more to the table than is understood, appreciated, or how the I style can be trampled upon, actually even discriminated against. And so what? So what? As usual, we like to put solutions on the table. So I'm going to ask you, as we examine this, as we unravel this mystery and solve it, we want you to also understand that there is something that can be done, and we want to put that on the table. And there is a thank you for you, a little gift. So stick around a little bit. All right, let's go. So again, maybe you're coming to the table later. What we're looking at here is the concept, we call it the discerning communication model. And, it basically is a model that deals with communication and leadership. It's based on the Jungian DISC framework, that DISC model that has these 4 quadrants. And so in our approach, we like to look at it as 4 sets of tools, that we are given 4 bags of tools, 4 toolkits to deal with life, to look at how we process incoming information and how we relate to others, how we understand ourselves, our worldview, if you will. And the 4 core toolkits, remember, these are just 4 classifications of a whole slew of behaviors within each toolkit. And so dominance is one. We tend to call that the D style. And, the mindset here is to be direct, driven, demanding, decisive, pushing for results, winning. That's basically what comes out of the D style toolkit. The I style toolkit, which is where we are today, would be more enjoying the journey, still wanting the success, wanting the achievement, but want to get there while the journey is being enjoyed as well. But it is about innovation. It's about getting involved. It's being connecting with others. It is about creativity. There is a better way. There is a way that we can achieve more. Get to this a little bit later. And then there's this steadiness, the S-style toolkit, which, as it says, is steady stability, supportiveness, this whole question of being one for all for one, and also a selfishness, willing to give up my rights for a peaceful life. And then there's a conscientiousness toolkit, the C-style, cautious, controlled, compliance, a lot of systems and structure, holding people accountable. Those are the basic bags of tools, classification of the bags of tools. And within each one, for example, with our extended disk solutions, we identify 160 different bags of tools. So within each quadrant, there are 40 unique bags that we have, or toolkits that we have. All right. So that's why you get such a depth of analysis with our extended disk solutions. All right. So what's the context? This little piece here, I don't know how else to encapsulate what it is that we're talking about. That this piece where Trevor I goes to pick up his fiancée, and she says, "Come on, Trevor, man, you promised me faithfully. I'm so angry. I'm so mad. I don't know what to do with you. Oh, oh man, oh no, Trevor, that's really so nice of you. All right, come, give me a hug." That's I-style in practice. It's you don't want to say hate, but it's a kind of a love hate. That, oh, you're so what? Oh, you're so annoying. That's part of it. If you want to look at the pure textbook, look at what Jung wanted to get at in terms of I-style behavior, I think you will see this capacity, this unique ability to produce the extraordinary, and to produce great satisfaction, just something out of the box that you hadn't thought about, or something really different. But at the same time, that's also linked to maybe not meeting all your expectations in the way that you wanted, and as we say, maybe not marching to your drum beat, but to another drum beat, to their drum beat. So sometimes there is this angst, is that what's happening with you? Are you not getting this done? And then there is a solution. So that's part of it. So team members with a preference for the I-style behavior can be challenging to some team leaders, depending on their mindset. Yes, it can be challenging. I've been there myself, where we are saying, "Oh, come on," and then there is the magic that comes, and you say, "Okay, fine, let me forget, these other things." That's part of it. The I-style is really widely misunderstood, and in many instances, it's looked upon unfavorably in some organizations. I can tell you, I have done work also with parents, help parents with their child who has a preference for the I-style behavior and who is kind of driving them crazy. And I'm saying, hey, it's all right, they'll get there. How can they be doing their homework with the TV on, the radio on, the device and all this noise? It's not possible. But mommy, look at the report card. It's there. The results are there. Yeah, okay, you're going to say maybe they're getting 80s. And if they were more serious, they could be getting 90s. That's part of also what happens in organizations. There is a sense that, whoa, you're not operating to your full potential. Maybe. The question then you have to ask, though, is, would the creativity, would this innovation, would this spirit of engagement be there if the person had been more focused and more, rigidly wed to your procedures? That's a question that you have to ask. All right. So some of the tendencies then is to be proactive, is to be connected with people. This whole thing is success with and through people. That's really at the core of I-style thinking. And when we look at it, there's also maybe a better way, a more creative, a nicer way. And for me, when I think of the I-style, I think of the smartphone, where now, years ago, you were hooked to a wall, to make a call. You had a camera slung over your shoulder and a calculator in a different place. Now you have one device that does all of that. Also, there's the social media, the connection, the capacity to share widely. That's all, to me, linked to I-style behavior. And so we have to, a colleague said once that one of the things, because the I-style wants to have time to, if you want to call it, play around, to explore, to experiment, that's how they get so creative. So they are trying to find a way to get things done more easily, more quickly, more efficiently, not with a focus on improvement, but so that they can get some time to maybe, scour the internet. I don't know. That's a little unkind. But the whole idea, though, is that there is a spirit of, let us look and see what can we do with this? How can we reshape this? Today we celebrate this and we call it disruption. Disrupting the industry. So engagement, that's part of it as well. Encouragement, constant motivation, constant driving. Let's go, let's make it happen. And then there's a transparency, there's openness. I let you know what's going on with me. I'd be very interested in what's happening with you. Of course, change. That's part of it. That's the constant. I want change, and change comes from innovation and creativity. So that gives you some kind of a sense of the outgoing, people-oriented mindset that drives I-style behavior. So, having said that, we kind of laid the foundation for this, that one of the things that the I-style brings to the table is this capacity to produce products. We talked about the iPhone, or we talked about the smartphones, all sorts of different areas in which some unique difference has taken place in terms of a service, in terms of a product, that has made a difference, a sort of future-ready approach to life. So that's encouraged. That's encouraged in organizations that are interested in being competitive and in terms of trying to dominate their market space, that capacity to think outside the box. But others hold a different view. So here's one challenge. Now, in some organizations, they're very compliance focused, and they want you to walk in lockstep with the policy manual and do things this way. And this is how we do it. And we actually micromanage and get a lot of reports so we can track what's happening. In those environments, the I-style doesn't feel as if they have wings. Everything is so straight-laced. They just have to do it this way. And in effect, team leaders are challenged there, because the spirit of the I-style is to, as I say, march to a little bit of a different drum beat. And their stance is, no, if I allow you to mark to that drum beat, what if everybody did the same thing? I can't treat you as a unique phenomenon, because everybody is going to say, oh, I'm different as well. And so that's one of the challenges that we have. The tendency in some organizations for uniformity. And those organizations are challenged when a competitor comes and seeks to disrupt their environment, because everybody is thinking in lockstep. That's a challenge. All right. So I want to make it clear, though, that when I'm saying that the I-style wants to maybe walk to a different drum beat, this is not the sort of disruptive elements, that that you have in workplace, where some people who really don't want to work or who just want to fight against the system. That's not the mindset. The I style wants to win. The I style wants the team to win. They want to get the same results that you want. It's just a question, though, as to how we get it. Is there another way to get these results, or even better? Have you thought of these other possibilities? And that's it. So don't think about the I style in the sense of troublemakers. It's not a troublemaker. They just want some kind of latitude to say, can we experiment on the edges to see, is there another way? That's it. Right? Of course, yes, let us call a spade and not cover things up. Yes, sometimes in terms of your deadlines, their timing is off. Yeah, because of the tendency to overcome it. Understand something important about the I style. The I style wants to please. The I style, getting along with people is important. That's part of it. The team dynamics. Those are important things to the I style. So when the I style individual, the person who is practicing this, has this as their preference, when they're asked to do something, the tendency is to say, yes, John, I will do it. Yes, Mary, I will do it. Yes, Tom, I will do it. The problem is that when you take those requests and put it with the I style users' own responsibilities, something has to give. You just don't have the capacity to honor all the commitments. And so that's where the challenge comes in, where people say, oh, I promised. I thought you said you would. Yes, I did. And at that point in time, I really meant it. And I tried. However, how could I not help this individual who had this urgent problem? That's part of the thing. So I know it's frustrating when you wanted your thing done, but maybe if you go deeper and understand what's going on there, you will see that it's not just laziness or carelessness. It is really a factor of overcommitment that they really have a difficulty saying no. And maybe that's one of the coaching that you do when you work with your teams, is that you really have to pull your I style colleagues out and to say to them, hey, this is a challenge. I mean, I hear you. You have the best will in the world, but you cannot keep missing deadlines. You cannot keep disappointing people. So that's a developmental area for them, is that to say, no, I can't do this because these are the consequences. And a free tip for you, is that when you're dealing with the I style colleague, and they say, I got it, Trevor, consider it done. One of the jokes we give is that maybe in that moment they have considered it done, but anyway, that's not it. What you should do, though, is to say, Trevor, I understand. I know you want to help me, and I know you want to do it. However, I need to know, is this real? I mean, can you really do it? Do you have the capacity? Because don't just tell me you're going to do it. So you need to penetrate to find out, is this really a commitment, or you just want to say, okay, fine, I want to please you. That's important. There's a difference between yes and a genuine commitment to getting it done. Can't hurt also to remind me, call me up. How are we going with that? Is it coming along? Are we all right? Are we going to meet the deadline? Ask those questions. Don't wait until the last moment. Okay, so you are saying maybe my style colleague is a big person. I shouldn't be following him up. Yeah. All the styles have some downside. Think about the benefit that you get at the end of the day. All right. So, stifling growth. That's one of the problems that we have in organization, is that because of the rule-based operating environment and this whole focus on the reporting and the following up and the micromanagement, the I-style team member tends to just go underground, if you will. They just can't function effectively. As a matter of fact, to be honest, that's one of the reasons for fast turnover and low retention of this highly prized set of competencies. They just don't function effectively. And there's either contention with the team leader on an ongoing basis, which is anathema to, to the I style. They don't want to have any problems. They want to get along with people. They don't want to have a fuss with it. And so it's better then to separate. But then you're losing talent, a unique talent that's not good for the organization. So there is also another major problem, and that is the career path discrimination. What do I mean by that? Well, one of the questions that we get in workshops when we're working, getting teams to push them to high performance and to understand the dynamics so that they can function more effectively. One of the questions that I get asked is, so can the I-style be the CEO? It seems as if it is impossible. Because there's a mindset that, okay, these individuals can go into public relations or maybe in sales because they like to talk. It's a kind of sense that there are only certain paths, certain areas in which the I-style individual can function effectively. And I'm saying, do we think the same thing for S or C or D? Why I? And here's an answer. This is a real life case where I was involved in this situation where there was a brilliant young lady who's rising up, going up the chart, organization chart, and she was brilliant at designing. When you do audits, you have to decide how you're going to get the information. So it's not just going on checking this and asking the questions. It's who, in other words, the quarterbacking. How do we go about getting that information? And that is where the creativity comes in. So, you might say, I-style in audit. Yeah, those are some of the dynamics. We have to expand our mind as to how we understand these behavioral styles. So, so she was excellent at designing the audit. But if you are going to be a partner, for example, and to sign for the audit firm, you have to go and pour over the results and to make sure that when you put your signatures there, everything is in order. That's tedious. Sometimes, when it comes before tax season, you have to be up at, all hours of the night, going over, double checking, boring. But so she was having a challenge getting to the very top because of a difference. I actually suggested, why don't you have the people who are more comfortable doing that quality assurance work, do it, and the persons who are more comfortable doing the design and the crafting of the, how to go about the audit, do that. Yeah, I was almost thrown downstairs because I didn't understand the system. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. People make up rules, man-made rules, and stick to them, whether they make sense or not. So what then? For me, it's a matter of education. I found that there is a serious ignorance and misunderstanding related to behavioral preferences. Yeah, and sometimes it's probably with the most professional people who, multiple degrees and so on, who are misusing the things. Oh no, those people are only C-style individuals. I can't deal with them. And a lot of the error comes from looking at an individual. So we hear a few characteristics and we say, that sounds like John. And so we're going to look at how John behaves and use that as the template for the given style. And that's dangerous because nobody is exclusively any one style. We all use tools, behaviors from all of the toolkits at some point in time. And so we are blends of the four styles. So avoid the error then of looking at an individual and saying, that is what I style behavior is, or D style, or S style, or C style. That's dangerous. So I don't know. For me, I have cleared up a lot of the confusion, made a difference in the performance of teams, and the whole dynamics. How new leaders have been onboarded and the impact that has had, conflict within the team, unleashing performances, looking at removing blind spots. I don't know. Maybe I can make a difference to your team. Let's have a conversation. That's what I would say. It's something that can be addressed, and it doesn't have to take years and months and weeks. It can be done. So there's a simple 3-step process that I would say works very well. So we get the information of the team members, we send them a link, they complete their extended this behavioral DNA questionnaires, should be done in 7 to 10 minutes online. The information comes back to us. We create the unique individual reports depending on the role that the individual is playing. We actually provide them with an analysis related to their specific role. Then we do the team maps. We have comprehensive team maps like the one you see here, where we actually lay the team out and you can see areas of comfort, areas that require more energy. And then we set up a time and we go through it. It can be as little as 3 hours, where we go through and not only debrief the individual with respect to their own reports, but to look at the team. How is the team aligned to the task that they are charged to do? That's the key. So we're saying, send us an email. Let's have a talk. Or if you are more proactive, you can just look at this link here. It's a HubSpot link. It's https meetings.hubspot.com Trevor-Smith4. And that ties you right into an appointment. You just check my calendar, look at what is convenient for you, and it gives you a Zoom link, and we just actually talk right away. No commitments. We just want to see how it works. All right. So we can solve it. And by the way, thanks for spending some time with me. We have here a publication that we offered. Is really very useful. You see that listening? Listening, it should be a PhD course program. But this we have done, pulled it together, nicely set out the graphics and so on. Discerning listening. It will be useful for you. So you can download it. Just send me an email at info@successwithpeople .org, and we will get it done. So a little bit about us, maybe just meeting us for the first time. The Success with People Academy is actually a SHRM recertification provider, which means that programs, the certificates that we give out, the professional development certificates, are underpinned by SHRM. That means that the credits can be applied to SHRM CP and SHRM SCP recertification. Bottom line is that really means that we operate at an international standard with what we do. So we are very heavily technology driven. Every technology underpins all our capacity development work. And for example, we have our SPIKE performance management and governance and compliance e-platform, which also includes a learning management system, a unique multi-pronged product that is a support for your regular HR solutions. Deals with the whole question of a competency framework, and how that competency framework serves as a hub for recruiting and selection, onboarding, for gap analysis, for your training, for succession planning. All of that is embraced in our Spike technology. We'll be happy to um, give you a demonstration. So also remember, in terms of your recruitment and selection, that these extended this behavioral DNA assessments make a huge difference between getting a bad hire and hiring the right person who is a good fit for your organization and for the role that you want to have in mind. So, bottom line is, I would invite you, as you can see in the banner, let us work. Let us work with one of you, a pilot team. Put a team together that might be either high performance now, or you want to go further, or maybe that this is a trouble team. Maybe this is a team with a new leader, and let's just work with them. And here's the deal: pay nothing. Do all of the assessments. Do everything upfront, no cost to you until you get value. So if we do it and we deliver value, of course, then you pay. So it's not a freebie. But if we don't, if all of this is just talk and we don't make a difference, then of course it's on us. So have nothing to lose. Let's deal with that. All right. So take some action. Yeah. And let us have this dialogue around a team. Let us see how we can make a difference. Just test drive the process. Yeah. Remember, it's just 3 steps. We go. You give us a list of themes with the email address, correct email addresses, please. We send them the link. We do the assessment, do the mapping, do the reports, and then we come together and we do a strong debriefing. Let's talk about it. And thanks for your time.